Now we are going to go through the process of signing up for a Salesforce developer account and configuring that account with Boomi Flow. Let's jump into our activity guide and look at exercise 3, beginning on page 16. I will demonstrate to you how to go about signing up for a Salesforce developer account and configuring it with Boomi Flow. For exercise 3, we'll want to enter developer.salesforce.com into our web browser and press enter. I would suggest opening up a new tab for this action, as is suggested in your activity guide. Now click on the green sign up button, and what we will do here is then provide these developer edition requests with our information. The email that you provide can be a personal email, and for username they give an example of your company email or something of that nature. You don't need to do this. You can do any type of username. I would actually suggest just using your email address here again. After entering your information here, check the box by registering that you confirm that you have agreed to the terms of use, and then click on the blue sign me up button. Here we can see another email has been sent to this account now. So you can see the email that I received in a temporary account that I've created. I'm going to click on the blue verify account button, and now we're given the opportunity to change a password or create a password really. Also, there's a security question that we can create. Then click on the blue change password button, and you should be taken into a Salesforce developer account in Lightning Experience. Now, this is one of the views that we can look at Salesforce from, or we can change it to a more classic experience if any of you have used Salesforce before, or some of you may like this. I prefer to use classic, so what we'll do is click on this view profile up here, switch to Salesforce Classic, and now we have Salesforce in a more classic orientation that some of you may be familiar with, or some of you may have seen before. We're going to come here and click on Setup. And now let's close this window by clicking on No Thanks. And then we're going to next install our package for the Boomi Flow service. So let's open up a new browser. And from your activity guide, you're going to take the link there. You can copy and paste it, or you can enter it in. I'm just going to copy and paste, place it in here, and go to this. So now what it's doing is loading. This is going to be the operating system and connecting our capabilities for Boomi Flow and Salesforce. Let's click on the rename conflicting components in package and install for all users. Then click on the blue install button. Now we want to make sure everything is checked here. Then click on yes, grant access to these third-party websites. Click continue. So our installation was complete, and we can click done here. And now we're back into Salesforce, and we can see that this has been installed. Now, obviously, I have not made reference to this before, but as you would know, until some updates are made to this training and other things in the future, Manyhoo is also our Boomi Flow. The name has since been changed to Boomi Flow, but here in some of these screenshots and through this presentation, you'll see Manyhoo referenced. So we can come here to the toolbar on the left-hand side. Looking at the administer section, we want to find security controls, expand that, and we want to click on network access. So here we're going to set up some IP ranges that are trusted by the Salesforce service. First, click new, and we want to enter 54.164.117.86. And we also want to enter that into the end IP address as well. I've obviously entered this before, so I'm just going to select it as a pre-populated one, then click on save. And we want to then, as it shows in your activity guide, add a few more IP addresses as well. Click new again, enter 54.88.201.125 5. And then also for the end IP address, enter the same. Click on save. And then one more IP address that we're going to enter is going to be the 54.84.53.201. Same here for the end IP address. Click save. And now we can see that we have the 3 trusted IP addresses listed. Now coming back over onto the left hand side, let's find the build section. So by scrolling down, we've found build, and we want to expand the develop. And here we want to click on custom settings. Now we can see the Manyhoo package here again, and what we're going to do here is then click on manage, and from here we want to click on new, and then we can actually name this anything we want. So for this exercise, I would just suggest naming this default, and then we want to do is enter our tenant ID here. Now you may have noticed in your activity guide there was reference of the tenant ID in the earlier exercise with the tenant and subtenant. So, and where we would find this is clicking on the gravatar icon in the right hand corner. We have our main tenant, and this number and letter variation is also known as our tenant ID. So we can actually select this, copy and paste it, bring that over here, paste it into our tenant ID for our application, and then click save. Now we have our new default detail and tenant ID. Coming down here on the toolbar again, we're going to scroll down to build, and we want to expand create. Now click on apps, and here we can see some of the apps that are already listed as being interactive or integrated with Salesforce. Come down here to our connected apps. We're going to click on new, and then we're going to name this Boomi Flow. Put in our contact email, which is most likely the email that you've created this account with. And then check the box for enable OAuth settings. Here we're going to click on full access, click on the add arrow to bring that over into our selected OAuth scopes, and then in the callback URL make sure that we had put in https:// Now you can either enter this in like I just did, or copy and paste possibly from your activity guide so that you don't have any errors or anything like that, for instance. Now that we've gone through all those steps, click on the save button. And we're given a message here that we should allow for 2 to 10 minutes for changes to take effect. So make sure that you're not trying to work with it too quickly. As within this demonstration, we're not going to be doing anything right away. So we can click on continue. Here we have a message that the application API name can only contain underscores and alphanumeric characters. So what the system did was it actually gave us an underscore for Boomi Flow, which is fine. So now just click on save again. And now here we have our connected app, Boomi Flow. So you can see all your information here. And let's take note of some things here. The consumer key and the consumer secret are things that we're actually going to need again in the future for setting up our connection with our application with Boomi Flow.